All right. Welcome. This is DB talking now. DB talking birds. DB talking Philadelphia Eagles. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope you're staying safe. Hope you're staying healthy. Let's go ahead and get into it. Now, obviously, with the last stream, we talked about how the Eagles were listening to offers for Carson Wentz. Or sorry, I take that back. The Eagles will take calls for Carson Wentz. That was the report that was reported by Adam Schefter yesterday morning. So new report came out this morning, huge report. The Eagles are fielding calls for trade offers for Carson Wentz. So they're not only putting him on the trade block, but they're listening to calls. Now, it's already been reported. There's already multiple teams interested. Obviously, we have the Indianapolis Colts, and I can assume that and we can go ahead and assume who the other teams are going to be. Probably Carolina, probably the New York, maybe the New York Jets, maybe San Francisco, maybe the Denver Broncos. All of these guys are going to be interested. It's possible that the Houston Texans could be interested. And I do want to address something real quick, and this is no shot at a guy that I like to follow on YouTube here. His name's Lord Brunson. But for some reason, he thinks that we'll be able to make a trade, a Carson Wentz, Deshaun Watson swap, and then still acquire 2 second-round picks from the Texans on top of that, which there is no way in hell that is ever going to happen. No way in hell. Sorry, but Deshaun Watson is worth more than Carson Wentz at this point. If we were to go ahead and give up Carson Wentz to the Texans for Deshaun Watson, we'd probably be giving up a pick on top of that. Yes, does Deshaun Watson have a higher cap hit? Yes, he does. Are we giving up some? Are we giving up something? Are we giving them a mess? Yes, we are. But that only decreases our value. Are we acquiring a mess? Yes, we are. But the proof is in the pudding. Deshaun Watson has put up better numbers. Deshaun Watson's played in more games. Deshaun Watson. So Carson Wentz is not worth more than Deshaun Watson in that trade. So, as much as I love to follow Lord Brunson on YouTube, he is incorrect on that one. While I would love that trade to happen, I don't see it happening. And actually, I kind of take that back because I don't want Deshaun Watson. I've mentioned this in previous streams as well. I don't want Deshaun Watson coming to the Philadelphia Eagles. I just don't. He doesn't seem to be acting like a leader either. And that's kind of the whole issue here with Carson Wentz. He's not acting like a leader. He's not acting like a franchise quarterback, and he is, acting pretty childish, so to say. And so is Deshaun Watson. I think he's a great player. I think he's a great person. But he is kind of acting offhand. And did they do him wrong? Yes, they did. But that's neither here nor there. The point of the message is this: Deshaun Watson is worth more than Carson Wentz. So now, what does that mean? What does that mean for the draft? A lot of people are going crazy right now, and they're thinking that if Carson Wentz gets traded, then the Eagles will definitely look into drafting quarterback at pick number 6. Well, let me tell you something. I disagree with that. I do not think that they should draft the quarterback at pick 6 if and when Carson Wentz gets traded. If Carson Wentz is traded before the draft, the Eagles should not take quarterback at pick 6. I think it's a waste of a pick. If they did do that, it would probably be a huge mistake, and we would continue to find ourselves in this dysfunctional mess of a cycle that we continue to find ourselves in since Andy Reid left the organization, to be completely honest with you. So here's what I believe. Here's what I believe to be true. I believe that we should go into this draft as if we do have a starting franchise quarterback. That's what I believe. That's how I think that we should go into this draft. I've said this earlier. I said this earlier in the year. I said this before the season ended. Regardless of who they decide to go with for the 2021 season, they should commit to someone. They should commit to someone, whether it was going to be Carson Wentz, whether it was going to be Jalen Hurts, or whether it was going to be a guy that they draft. Now, if they draft the guy high early in the draft, then what does that say to Jalen Hurts? How does that affect Jalen Hurts? Because Jalen Hurts is approaching this offseason as if he's going to be able to compete for the starting job. And if you draft the guy at pick 6, you expect that guy to start. You expect the guy at pick 6 that you drafted to start. So it's saying goodbye to Jalen Hurts. And same thing with the second round pick too. Same thing with the second round pick as well. So I don't think that they should grab a guy in the first round, a quarterback in the first round. I don't think that they should grab a quarterback in the second round. I think honestly, the guy at the top of my board now, because I've absolutely fallen in love with this guy, is Kyle Pitts. You can move him all over the place. You can play him at wide receiver. You can play him at tight end. He's a mismatch nightmare. Nick Sirianni loves to go with the dual tight end sets. And he also talked heavily about making sure that he gets his playmakers in space, make sure that they win their matchups, make sure that they create different matchup nightmares for the defense. And adding a guy like Kyle Pitts to this offense would do exactly that. AJ Styles just joined in, and he thinks that Carson is done with the Philadelphia Eagles, and he thinks that he's getting traded. Well, yeah, AJ, I think the same exact thing. That's exactly what we're talking about. The fact that the news has come out like rapid fire over the past 24 hours. Yeah, and I mentioned this in the stream the other night as well. I don't see him getting past. I don't see him staying on this team for another 2 weeks. I really don't. I am 99% sure that Carson Wentz will not be on this team when it comes to the 2021 season kickoff. And that's me giving it a little leeway. I'm pretty sure he's going to get traded within the next couple of weeks or before the draft, for sure. So yeah, Carson's done. And it hurts me to say that. It definitely hurts me to say that because I've been a huge Carson supporter through and through, all the way to the bitter end. And I wanted him to revitalize himself as the leader of this franchise, and he just has not done that. There's not much that he can do right now, but there is certainly some key imperative important things that he could have done, like not dipping out on the press conference at the end of the season, or like saying at least something over the last month and a half. He could have said something, and he just didn't. And that's not what a leader for the Philadelphia Eagles is supposed to. That's not the type of behavior that the leader of the Philadelphia Eagles is supposed to demonstrate. So yeah, he's done. AJ, hey, Carson Wentz is done. He's gone. And here's the thing. Here's the thing too. It's probably going to be the Colts. There is mutual interest since the Eagles officially put him on the block yesterday. The Colts have been calling, that we do know. And this isn't speculation, people. This isn't speculation. This is mere facts. And look, here's the thing. It's like with today's social media, it's people get so upset when you try to give an objective opinion. Just because we say, Carson Wentz had a horrible season last season, that doesn't mean that we're against Carson Wentz. Absolutely not. It does not mean that we're against Carson Wentz. I was certainly 100% not against Carson Wentz. I was 100% for Carson Wentz. The fact of the matter is he had a bad season. I'm still with Carson Wentz after I say that. Jalen Hurts came in, played well for a second-round rookie, and he really impressed me. I gotta go back to this real quick because I did previous streams about Jalen Hurts, in that first game against the Saints. Now, granted, I think the Saints kind of eased off a little bit, didn't take him very seriously, but Jalen Hurts took advantage of the moment and beat the number one ranked defense at the time in the Saints, and really impressed me. Showed me some things that I've seen in Russell Wilson before. And I'm not calling Jalen Hurts Russell Wilson, so let's cool our jets on that. I'm just saying that there were some similarities here and there from Jalen Hurts that I saw. He is not a one-trick pony. He's not a strictly a scrambler guy. I think people get a little bit confused by that because he was having to run for his life, just like Carson Wentz was, because the offensive line was so beat up. But I guarantee you, if we get the offensive line shored up and Jalen Hurts is the starting quarterback for the 2021 season, he's probably not going to be looking to run as much, but he will run when he needs to, and that just makes him a little bit more of a threat and dynamic in the pocket. My issue is this with the Carson Wentz thing. The Colts are interested. We know that. Carson Wentz is interested in going to the Colts. We know that because Carson Wentz and Frank Reich pretty much just love each other. They pretty much, in other words, would probably go and have a trip to Hawaii together if they possibly could. No. Here's the thing. It's Frank Reich. It's Carson Wentz. We know what the two of them can do together. We've seen it in 2017. My issue is this. Carson Wentz going to the Colts, playing for Frank Reich. Carson Wentz turning into an MVP quarterback again. Jalen Hurts looks absolutely horrible, and the Eagles are left looking over the shoulder, and Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie absolutely screwed the pooch on the entire franchise. That is my problem. That is my problem. The franchise has never been this dysfunctional. Here's the thing, and I was listening to John Clark talk on one of his radio podcasts the other day, and he was saying, the franchise has pretty much been this dysfunctional before, just behind closed doors. But I think that we forget that we're supposed to give credit to the man who did a really good job because he had football smarts. He had knowledge of the game. He had knowledge of every little aspect there is. And what man is that I'm talking about? Well, I'm talking about Andy Reid. There's probably a lot of dysfunction. In fact, there was a lot of dysfunction when they first hired Howie Roseman to be a part of this organization. Howie Roseman drafted the fireman, the offensive guard, Danny Watkins. You know what Andy Reid did after that draft? He literally came out and said that press conference that was a Howie Roseman pick. You want to know why Andy Reid did that? Because he was covering his ass. This franchise has been dysfunctional ever since Howie Roseman has come into the organization. And now that he has the most power that he's ever had, it's going to continue to be dysfunctional. And it would not surprise me. The pick at 6 should be Kyle Pitts. And if it's not Kyle Pitts, then I hope to God that it was Sewell, the offensive tackle from Oregon, who fell to pick 6, and we picked Sewell at 6. Because no matter how much we love Jordan Mailata, and he's done great, and I'm really excited about the future of Jordan Mailata, but Sewell is just one of those stalwart offensive tackles that you can kind of pick, plug, and play for the next 10 years of your franchise on the blind side, and he will protect your quarterback. But here's the issue. It might not be either one of those guys. Let's say that all of these guys that we want the Eagles to pick are still on the board at pick 6 because for some reason there was a run at quarterback in the first round. We're talking about Trevor Lawrence. We're talking about Justin Fields. We're talking about let's say somebody gets excited about Kyle Trask, and just decides to take him in the top 5. That's 3 out of the 6 picks that it takes to get to pick 6, which is the Philadelphia Eagles pick, right? Who do we want? We want Jamar Chase, we want Devontae Smith, we want Jalen Waddle, we want Kyle Pitts, we want Patrick Surtain, we want Micah Parsons. One of these guys is going to be there. Some of these guys are going to be there. Let's say that all the guys are there. Sewell from Oregon, the offensive tackle from Oregon. Let's say that they're all on the board at 6. it would not surprise me for Howie Roseman to totally screw the pooch on pick 6 and take a fucking quarterback. It would not shock me one bit. You want to know why it wouldn't shock me one bit? Because Howie Roseman still has control of the 53-man roster and is going to pick whoever the fuck he wants. This organization is screwed. We are screwed. I am unhappy about the fact that they screwed Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz didn't screw the Eagles. The Eagles screwed Carson Wentz. They failed to get him support. They tried, but they failed. And they failed when they tried because Howie Roseman was the one who picked J.J. Arcega-Whiteside instead of DK Metcalf. He was the one who picked Jalen Hurts instead of any other defender, Kenneth Murray, right? Or the safety who now plays in Cincinnati, and his name is slipping my head, and I'll probably remember it 2 minutes after I'm done this stream. He's the one who picked Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson. The Eagles screwed Carson Wentz. He's the one who picked Andre Dillard in the first round. And Andre Dillard is going to come back from injury, and he's going to have a rugby player who's never played the sport before take his spot. While that's great, it should have never happened. Because he was the 16th overall pick in the first round. But you guys got to let me know what you guys think in the comment box below. Questions, comments, concerns. Where do you think Carson's going to go? There's so many teams. Honestly, I think it's going to be the Colts. I definitely think it's going to be the Colts. And I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to package Zach Ertz and Carson together in a package to the Colts. I think that's very likely because the Colts have already expressed interest in Zach Ertz. It's already happened. They've expressed interest in both. And Frank Reich's going to turn him into an MVP, guys. He's going to turn him into an MVP. Carson is going to throw for 30-plus touchdowns next year. I guarantee it. You heard it here first. Carson Wentz will throw for 33 plus 100 yards and 30-plus touchdowns next year. And the Eagles will be left looking over their shoulder because Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie screwed the pooch on this franchise. They screwed the pooch. Unless we go ahead and draft Kyle Trask and Kyle Pitts just like AJ Styles wants. And hey, buddy, I am totally not against that. But hey, this is DB Talking now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. I will go ahead and continue to gather more updates and be with you guys throughout the weekend. Obviously, it's Super Bowl weekend. All right. We got Tom Brady and the Buccaneers versus Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs and Andy Reid. I haven't decided who I'm rooting for yet. You want to know why? In any other universe, I would have rooted for Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. But I got to tell you this. As much as I've hated him in the past, and I've loved to hate him in the past, it's pretty kind of cool that Tom Brady has taken the Buccaneers, who went 5-11 last year, to an 11-5 record, and brought them to the Super Bowl, and is on the verge of winning his 7th Super Bowl in his career, which has never been done before by a single man. So, leave your comments. Leave your questions, your comments, and your concerns in the comment box below. AJ Styles, thank you again for joining me, my man. Yeah, he's done. He's getting traded. It's just a matter of when. And this is DB Talking now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. I think it's to the Colts as well, AJ, and it would not shock me if it happens within 2 weeks. Hopefully we can get their first round pick out of that, because I don't want him to be moved unless it's for at least a first round pick. But hey, DB Talking now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. AJ, I will see you soon, my man. Thanks again for joining in. Have a good night. Happy Thursday. Stay safe, stay healthy. Go Birds, baby.